travel is well underway, and we are basically at the location I think that we kind of need to go to, at least the city that we're in. So now, how do we get in contact? How do we meet up? How do we find the people of our party, the people that we will have a reunion likely with, right? The people that we haven't seen for a long time. Paul being one of them, a few years for him. Roxy being like 75 to 95% of our lives that we haven't seen her. Whoever else they have involved with them, I'm assuming everybody else that she was kind of journeying and partying with, that they've shown us at different points that I can't remember. How do we find them? I have no idea. I guess that's kind of what's going to happen here. And then we'll probably lay out some groundwork for what is to come, what has occurred in the past, and how we will kind of conquer this labyrinth that we're likely going to be taking on and trying to go in and find Zenith in some sort of way. Hopefully you guys enjoy. If you like it all, like and subscribe. Do mean a lot to me. Feel free to stick around for the discussion. Leave any comments with this episode or this series. Let's get going with episode, what are we on, 20 of season 2 of Mushoku Tensei. Yeah, and how do you go about doing that? I have no idea. Oh yeah, I guess that would make a lot of sense. But this is why I'm not in this scenario, because I'd be completely lost. I mean, if they came here before, possibly. Oh, the boy's already here. My favorite nail polish boy. Black fingernail boy, my favorite. Wasn't expecting that. We don't see him. Yeah, everybody just give us the details later. I mean, it's been years. You guys did. You did. Don't get locked up. Yeah, there's some serious shit going on. Dad, we've come. We're finally here. Mentally or physically? I'll decide after I see him. Yeah, I think they're past that. I wonder if he's aged a lot. It's like looking in a mirror. Yeah, we'll talk about that later as well. It's all fun and games till Orsted finds out. No, you can. You just can't do it alone. No, it's fine, buddy. It's fine. It's fine, buddy. Mm-hmm. Oh, they didn't find out yet. Right. As you're visibly looking down on him, too. Just the hand up, buddy. Well, that was a lot simpler than I thought it was gonna be. Absolutely not. Claim him as that. I love it. Yeah, he's crazy, but he's fucking dope. We fucks with Cliff around here. Yeah, that's the boy. That's the boy. Come on. This elderly woman.
そこですわよ。
何にせよ、ルーデウス、エリナリーゼ、感謝する。よく来てくれた。今日を説明する。
I would like to hear that.
ギースの情報に
I would like you to not keep putting it
ゼニス
off.
はここより北に一日行ったところにある迷宮に囚われているらしい。
Okay.
6年ずっとですか。
わからん。
命に別状。
We don't know.
わからん。
We just know she's there or was at a point.
こう立ったパーティーにゼニスらしき人物がいたって話を聞いたんだ。
Oh.
さらに最近になってゼニスを迷宮の中で見たって話もある。
話に聞いていた通り、理髪そうな。
So we're just purposely making Roxy not around. Alright, fuck you.
続けるぞ。いいか。
全員？
ちょっと待ってください。ロキシー師匠はどうしたんですか。
ロキシは1ヶ月前、
Oh,
迷
well,
宮で罠にかかって。
死んだん。
no. They wouldn't kill her off screen. Not that you know that.
迷宮を踏破できる実力者で、水曜級魔術師で。
They told you it was rough, brother.
聞きたくない。
いや、転移魔法陣を踏んで行方不明になっただけだ。まだ死んだと決まったわけじゃ。
That's good, brother. You're good.
ここらでは最悪の迷宮の一つ。転移の迷宮だ。
That doesn't sound ideal. I wish it was a little bit more simple. We do have some books, though. We did bring some literature. Some knowledge. Oh, okay. Easy. Easy shit. We came
なん
proud.
でこんなものを。
I took it from the library.
ギース、確認してくれ。
Get with the times, old man.
じゃあ読ませてもらうぜ。
Can you read? Is that rude of me to say? He's pretty crafty. He probably could.
さすが先輩だ。これに書いてあることが本当なら第6階層までは攻略できたも同然だぜ。
Nice. I don't know what that means, but
なかっ
nice.
たことがほとんど書いてら。
Alright. Easy. Easy. Like we practically already won. We have all the info.
旦那様のいびきがうるさかったら遠慮なく申し付けください。
はい。
時にルーデウス様、
何でしょうか。
愛者はきちんとやっていますでしょうか。
Above and beyond their duties.
頑張ってますよ。
ルーデウス様のお手を煩わせるようなことはござい
Absolutely
ません
not.
か。
何も。何ですか父さん。さっきからニヤニヤと。
いや、なんかいいな。
To have some of the family together.
きちんと大人になってリーリャと話してるって光景がさ。そういやルディ、子供が生まれるとか言ってたな。
その、実は魔法大学に在学中に結婚したんです。
I'm here. I'm about to miss it.
誰と？
Oh, he didn't get the.
いえ、シルフィーと魔法大学で再会できまして。
シルフィー？ブエナ村のか？生きていたのか？
Sigh of relief.
彼
Why?
女で大変そうでしたけどね。
俺が不甲斐ないせいで父親になろうってやつをこんなところまで呼び出して。
いえ、申し訳なく思っています。
なんで盛大にお祝いしなきゃいけねえな。
はい。何せ父さん、初孫ですよ。
Hmm.
パウロおじいちゃんですよ。
よせよ。まだそ。
Honestly, he'd be a fun grandpa.
お前も男になったってことだよな。
旦那様、あまり下品なことをお聞きになるのはど。
I mean, it's literally how that happens, yeah.
一度ぐらいはしてみたいと思ってたんだよ。
God, they're raising so many death flags for Paul, dude. I know I speculated that this has a chance, but so many of his lines scream it so far. I don't know if it's just because I'm guessing this can happen, or if they're actually writing it that way. Jesus Christ.
そういや、いつかの時だってリーリャの方から誘ってきたんだったな。
その時の話詳しくお願いします。
See, I wouldn't want to hear about that, especially with like my dad. I wouldn't want to hear that. Onwards to venture in and save the Roxy. This works out too for her really well, right? Because she had like that stupid fantasy of being saved in the fucking dungeons or labyrinths or something, right? And then she's gonna like fall in love with Rudy more than like they already were, even though he was a child at the time. But you know what I mean. So this works out for her. It's almost like they wrote it that way for a reason, right? Alright, Buddy's gonna show off now, but as we start getting like the really fucking tough enemies, then what are you gonna do? You save your energy for that. Let the bums fight right now. Using these as like lights is really cool too. He is. He is. He's never had the chance to do any of this with you though. I like Paul.
私が前でしょ。
第一階層ならそう変わりゃしねえだろうが。
私はともかくルーデウスは迷宮自体が初なんですから、大人として見本を見せなさいな。
I'm trying to look cool in front of my son.
嘘をおっしゃい。今のあなたからはゼニスがパーティーに入った頃の浮ついた空気を感じますわよ。
いや、まあそれを言われると弱いけどよ。なんだお前随分と口やかましくなったんだな。
から叱りもしますわ。
何が息子だよ。なあルディ。
実は知らないうち
He doesn't understand. Yeah.
パウロよ。
It's so hard to look at her as that age though. It just is.
火を使うと部屋の中に毒が充満しよる。特に階層が深くなると注意が必要じゃ。
毒とはおそらく一酸化炭素中毒のことだろう。
それから天井を攻撃するのもご法度じゃ。理由はわかるな。
Yep.
窟が崩壊するかもしれないからですね。
Yep.
そうじゃ。じゃからあまり水も使わない。
Especially as we're further down.
氷を使え。
了解。
さすがロキシーの弟子だな。使う魔術まで同じとはの。
She is the teacher. But he's looking around like, breathe her now.
はい。
した休憩ごとにどうだとかなんとか聞いてきたのだが、
Probably getting a little bit more nervous, a little more focused.
真剣さが違うな。ダディがクールだ。
先輩、もうすぐ第三階層だ。本の通りなら転移罠は同じ階層にしか飛ばされないらしい。運が良ければロキシーはまだその辺りにいるかも。
何日もかけて潜るかと思っていました。
基本はそうだが、今回はお前が持ってきた本があるからな。
It's literally a cheat
手探り
code.
で進むのと地図を使って進むのでは違って当然か。
なんでいいんだが、ロキシーはどの辺にいると思う？
You can feel it, right? You got a connection. Does your eye have the ability to see that somehow? Only the what's her name? The demon lady was here with us.
どうした？
なんだルディ。
Here's the water. Is it used through the magic? He's like assuming he can kind of feel the moisture in the air. I don't know what he was actually picking up on. Nice. Smooth. 死を司りし冷たき王がいてつかせんブリザードストーム。 They broke through the barrier. 焦げたる剣を持ちて敵を切り裂かんフレームスライス。荘厳なる大地の鎧をまとわんハースフォートレス。 Backed into the corner. Saved. Oh, never mind. I thought that was the cue. We're not there yet. There we go. That's the cue. Perfect timing too with the freeze. The whole fucking area too. That's insane. Actually, it wasn't even like it was just one person. It was everything. Not even one at a time. It was fucking OP. The hero arrives.
よかった。
The fated meeting. The rescue mission is underway, but before that, we have to meet up with some other people. There's some things to get done in the process before we go further into the labyrinth, before we begin our journey into it, which of course that's kind of how these stories end up going. Last week I talked about how I really didn't like the episode that much at all. This week I thought this was really good. I really enjoyed this. I don't know, it's just I kind of was waiting for this. We have to get to the point. It was pretty obvious where we were headed and what was going to end up coming up, so let's get to that. And I don't care much for the things that happened in between, because the journey itself didn't necessarily do anything to develop or show me anything I wasn't kind of aware of before. That's kind of how I felt last time. So the whole like second half of the episode was just like, I don't care for those. So this time we actually have some stuff going on, and we get to have some reunions with people. We get to learn a little bit, and it works itself out pretty well. The drama portions of it, I think, are pretty to me. They don't do too much. And I think it's once again because it was pretty obvious we're heading in a direction where we're going to save Roxy. So there's no need for us to be concerned there. The no real tension or anything kind of built up, it felt like, between the characters and stuff with the first meetings, and they didn't make any of that overly dramatic and have everybody have like these crazy shocked reactions and stuff when they first met. So I'm cool with that. I didn't have any problems, I guess, involving that. So hopefully whatever they have to do to make this like as grand as they possibly do to climax and end towards the arc, hopefully ideally saving Zenith in the process, we have a little bit more I feel like I can latch onto and really get invested in. But up to this point I don't think it's done such a great job at that, but we'll see. It does, it's still early into it. We still got 4 or 5 episodes to dwell deeper into this and have stakes be raised a little bit more as things become a little bit more dangerous, that we go further and further down. I really enjoyed the meetings again, and just having us have one-on-ones kind of with Paul, just talk to him, get to see the state that he's in, how hard he's kind of been trying and how much he's wearing himself down, how much he kind of is regretful almost of having to put Rudy in this position where he has to come save him, how much he's very unhappy with himself not being strong enough to go and save this woman that he loves, and needing this party of people, not being able to do these things once, because he's getting older, but just isn't as capable, isn't as strong, isn't as powerful as he really would like to be. So having to rely on these people, and then of course having to take somebody like Rudy who's grown so much since the last time that they had this meeting together, and he's able to visibly see that now, and then also really understand and see from his point of view how much she's kind of matured, which is also very, very awesome to see. And he just kind of feels less than almost at this point, learning so much too about like, oh, you're married now, oh, you're having a fucking kid, I'm having a grandkid, and then him being like, fuck, I just took you away and did all this stuff because of my own inabilities to, just be strong enough. My own capabilities don't allow me to be as strong as I would like to be, and do these things without having to rely on or ask for help of others and stuff. And it does. It sucks to have to see that. And especially coming from the situation of somebody like him, it's like having or being a parent, I'm assuming, I don't know, but I'm making the assumption it's more so about the things that you want to give to and do for your own children. So having to put yourself in a position here where you have to rely on them to come forward and do this is probably the most fucking heartbreaking thing that he has to see, that he's not strong enough and he's not capable enough to do this, and he has to ask of something that is so dangerous as well, and also have to ask this person who is starting their own life and trying to find themselves and grow up in that process to abandon all of that and come help you out, it's definitely got to be something that sucks. And you can see that wearing on him, and Rudy constantly has to assure him, though, it's all good, dude. Which I think also from my perspective, I mean, it's a very different scenario than we're just living in a normal real life world and you're doing some fuck shit and he has to come, you know, save you and bail you out and ruins the rest of his life as a result of it. It's more of like, he's also saving family in the process here. He also doesn't want to have to leave you alone. He has a variety of other reasons why he can do, and it's perfectly okay to ask for help and ask of that for people who are extremely strong to come and do this. You know, it makes it way easier for everybody else too. It perfectly seems to make plenty of sense for me. So I don't know. I don't really have any problems regarding that. We meet the boy. I love everybody just being like, I'll tell you later. Like, I just never explaining it until we get everybody all together at some other point. We move in. Lilia, we see her for the first time. We see Paul. He's kind of messed up. We don't really explain his everything. I love him just reaching out and holding on and hugging him here. I think it's really sweet. And also just feeling so bad. Everything that I just kind of talked about and having to be reassured by him. And you can really see how much he's grown in so many different ways, especially since the last meeting. We have to make our apology. I'm still very unclear what happened between them. I don't know if it's intentional that you're not supposed to know, but I'm very uncleared by this. I thought it was like this big buildup and all she needed was for him to actually say that he's sorry, even though he's like written said that, but not be able to say that. Maybe it's because he like lowered himself and she kind of like really buys it by being able to look into his eye, and then she takes some of the blame for it, and then they're on even terms and we're good and everything's fine again. I don't really understand, but all right, we kind of let that be. We learn, or he learns so much about the world itself, the people that he's once known, and the world on the outside, how much things have changed over time while he's been so hyper focused on getting this one thing, trying to bring his family back together. So, of course, he's unaware, you know, Alina Lee's actually finding somebody who would marry him and talks bad about our boy Cliff. We don't fucking do that. They explain a little bit about what's going on. And luckily, Rudy ended up bringing a book, which helps us plenty in the process. We didn't actually learn that yet. Oh, yeah, Roxy fell into a lab room. We're having some problems. You know, we can't really find her. And you can really see how much that means to him and how much that really bothers him. Hearing this by, you know, everything else just kind of nothing. Like, he's not taking in or hearing any of it. And he's just stuck in his own head and completely like fucked up by hearing this until somebody's able to ultimately snap him out. I'm assuming we just like conveniently needed that line from the first season where she has like the romantic thing towards like I'm not gonna like fall in love, or I'm waiting on this person, which clearly was hinted towards then that it's going to be about Rudy and it's going to be involving something along the lines of this. It makes perfect sense. So I guess we're just going to kind of remove her from the situation or add like an extra layer of whatever this is till we can get to it. I don't think it does a good job personally at building up like suspense of like, oh fuck, what's going to happen? Like, it's pretty clear we're going to find her. It's pretty clear we're going to meet back up. Like, that just, it doesn't make any sense for it not to happen. They also wouldn't kill her or have any of this stuff happen with her off screen, because that makes no sense as well. So like things like that just don't really do anything for me. This is awesome. I love the conversation between all of them. Being able to catch up, learn a little bit. Paul just happily looking on as he sees some of his family slowly come together. He's never really had this time. It's been so long since he felt like he could happily just kind of observe on and watch somebody like Rudy as well together. And he learned so much about it. Once again, bringing up Eris being the one, learning it's not. Lilia had some weird like thing. She was like sigh of relief almost that it wasn't Eris, which is kind of weird to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm misreading that. Maybe that wasn't the case, but it seemed like, or maybe like a sigh that we found Sylphie and we were good. Maybe I'm off on that. I don't know, but it did seem a little weird. They make this really fucking weird. I've speculated on a variety of things when the initial turning point happened of, from a narrative perspective, we have to tell the story in a certain way. We have to have some sort of consequence or thing that occurs as a result, whether it's losing somebody on our end or losing somebody on Sylphie's end because of the decision that Rudy made to go and do the thing that he ended up doing. And it doesn't make sense for that not to happen and everything to turn out perfect by the back end. It just doesn't make any sense to do that, especially making a big deal of him actually conquering and going past what the man God has actually told him to do and not taking his advice for the first time. So one of my guesses and ideas ended up coming down to Paul being a possible person that we lose in the process. Zenith, another one as well. I don't think likely any of the members of our party besides those two would make too much sense. But I just feel us growing a bond and connection and also having this moment where we come back together with Paul and everything would be a little bit more impactful than to take somebody like Zenith away from us. So if we were to utilize Paul as that sacrifice almost, a lot of the lines he gives up here are like scary to me. Like they give off like this is a huge death flag, and it seems like he's like completely well aware of it. And then of course we have some fun bonding between everybody. It turns to a sex talk, which tracks with the characters, but is literally just the nature of the show to begin with. So it's fun between all of them to finally have that kind of, we don't have to fuck around and take things ultra serious when we're talking and just be laid back. And Paul also gets to talk about something that he loves so much with his son, somebody who he hasn't been able to really have those conversations and stuff with, which were a big thing that we built up in the first 5 or so episodes of them having like little moments and stuff where he was like, oh, you got to get older before we can like do all this. So having little sweet moments like that, I think are awesome. We go into it. I love him trying to act cool, especially early on here. And us learning he didn't do this, Zenith was the last time he did that, so that's awesome too. And then of course them two yelling at each other. But I like that of him trying to show off almost like, I still got it, I'm still so cool. Because you want to look cool in front of your kid. Of course you fucking do, right? You want to look good in front of that person. And then in the other situation, he wants to look good in front of the girl that he likes, right? Like it makes sense. I get it. I think it's awesome though. And Rudy sees right through it though, but I think it's cool. We learn a lot about things that you can do magic wise, what you should, what you shouldn't do, how, you know, the effects of the area that you're kind of in, you know, result in it, and the type of magic and stuff that he should use as a result, I think is all pretty sweet. The book basically guides us. The book is a fucking cheat code for us to get through this. I'm assuming it's going to be easy till we get to like whatever comes to be the big thing by the end of it would be my assumption. But I'm assuming, yeah, the book itself will make everything easy till that point. Take a little break, and then everybody goes a little bit further. We're looking for Roxy. I don't know exactly what happened, if it was just he heard the things that had happened, if it was the water drop that we specifically see here, where it's because of all the ice and everything that she's using there, and it's kind of causing it to come through in some sort of way, and he's like just sensing or feeling it coming from that direction, or if it's just he hears the monsters and everything over there. I don't know exactly what he was seeing or hearing, but he definitely could envision what was going on here, which ended up working out. Finally, after forever, it feels like we end up seeing Roxy again, and she's fighting these things off, which she's been doing for a complete month up to this point, and it looks like she's about to be backed into a corner. It works really well for just like the, like I said, thing that she brought up before, so we can connect all of that together, and it works well as like the hero, the person who you're gonna like kind of fall for, and all this other stuff likely is like stepping in at the right time, and he's showing, you know, what he's really capable of and how much he grows, and it does well for that, and it kind of just falls flat though on the, this is like a really tense buildup of like a moment, and it just doesn't actually do that because last minute saves are typically kind of lame to begin with because they're fairly predictable to begin with. And then also we're supposed to believe somebody who's like as strong and powerful and everything as she is has been fending off and having no issues for a month, and then in the exact moment that he walks in, or the exact moment that they're there and he's about to come to the rescue and end up saving her, is when it's too much for her and she ends up falling. You know what I mean? Like it just doesn't work. But it does, I guess, a good display of what he's capable of, what his knowledge is, what he's kind of learned, how much he's grown over time, compared to his master that he originally, you know, worked with at some point, and how he's kind of surpassed and ended up going there. I mean, this is a really cool shot, and it's awesome to see them come face to face, and I'm excited to see how that conversation and how we kind of progress the rest of this going forward. It's fun. It's good. Do I have problems with some of it? Yeah. Do I think it's the best thing I've ever seen? No, but it's also the beginning of what's going to come before we really climax, and it's not really meant to be that. And I enjoyed it quite a lot more. I found myself entertained the entire way through, as opposed to kind of how I felt last week. So that's a thumbs up for me. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Leave any comments about cut content and stuff, because I know there's been like a decent amount over the past so-and-so episode. So if there's anything you want to kind of add on to that, if you liked it, like and subscribe to me a lot to me, feel free to check out the videos and channel if you come to this episode or series. I'll be back for episode 21 next week. I hope you have a great one. Peace.